Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching us from a different time zones, good afternoon. I sorry, good morning or good evening. And my name is Marilyn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited or CTS. And as we have been doing this interview for over 100 times, I will no longer do the usual introductions. Please watch our previous sessions to see more and to find out more how we can actually work together. And those who are interested to work together, I'll be also sharing some links in the comments below later after this interview. And this interview will benefit those who are in the C level or senior management, as well as corporate leaders and business leaders who likes to stay relevant and adapt to the next normal, and also those who are actually other leaders or team leaders who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a hybrid team, and those individuals who would like to level up their leadership skills. And today I'm very excited to have my sister from another mother, CJ. This guest of mine has exhibited a hybrid leadership style from servant leadership to transformational leadership. And her experience is both in the corporate world as well as in the academic world, which has molded her to be the perfect agent for change. She holds a doctorate in business administration, specializing in international business, an MBA in leadership, a Master of Science specializing in cybersecurity, a bachelor's degree in communications and journalist, and yes, lahat na. She has worked in banking, finance, real estate, construction, staffing, and education, and she owns her own business called Level Up Academy. Oh, just nice for those who want to level up their leadership and their skills, which is Level Up Academy by Doc Leyland LLC. And she was a manager for a Fortune 500 company and a dean of business and accounting in multiple universities all over the United States. And today, she will be taking we will be talking about her leadership styles, influencers, what's next normal for her, and a project that she would like to create for us. So, without so much further ado, I'd like to bring in my guest. Hello.
I'm doing my sexy confidence dance.
Wow, I
Woo!
love it.
Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. Sister Marikit is here. I don't know what to tell you. I can't even do comments, so I don't know what to tell you. But I know you're here.
Yes, and it even
Yes.
says link and user. So please accept StreamYard so that we can see your name, sister. This
Yeah.
is Marikit for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. Ano ba
ano ba
yan?
yan?
What's happening?
Product predictive text. Okay. So excited for both of you. Thank you so much, sister, for your presence, and also both of course my guest today, CJ, and of course Marikit for supporting us. Woo, woo, woo. And so let's get started so we can get a lot so much from CJ. So I get to know CJ from Marikit, obviously, and I really love the story that she shared through her podcast. And by the way, it's not an ordinary podcast. She has over 200 million subscribers in her podcast. Woo! So, um, to get started and to learn from you, I mean, you have both corporate and academic experience, right? So, share with us more by, sharing your experience, your leadership experiences. If you have like a favorite leadership style, which I made mention as well in the introduction, and like influencers that you'd like to make mention to us, please do so.
Sure. So, first, I wanted to define transformational leadership and
Mhm.
also servant leadership because those are the leadership styles that I gravitate and use as a business dean. And I've had people, both academia and also lead people in the corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
And transformational leadership is, for me, the way I see it is to inspire and motivate, right? To inspire and motivate your team so that you can achieve whatever goals that you're doing, whether it's project, whether you're trying to do sales, right? And on top of that, you need to encourage personal growth and development. Your point is to actually get them to level up more than you, because you're trying to create that cohesion, but you also want them to move up, right? Whatever their aspirations are. Now, the second one is servant leadership. So, servant leaders to me is more of prioritizing the needs of their team members rather than self, right? They focus on serving their team members and helping them achieve their goals. I've seen that over and over, that servant leadership is the best type of leadership, especially if you marry it with transformational leadership. When it comes to influencers, I'd say Mahatma Gandhi. He
Mm-hmm.
basically is a transformational leader who leads India, okay, to independence. And mind you, non-violent civil disobedience, right? He's known for his moral and ethical leadership. Another one I see is Nelson Mandela. Yeah, he was a servant leader who fought against the apartheid in South Africa. He's known for his forgiveness and also reconciliation. So those are my two influencers for sure.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing and defining what transformational leadership is, which I'm flashing as well in the summary. And just now, your serve service leadership or servant leadership, right? And I really love how you shared examples as well in conjunction or in relation to what you have defined just now, right? Truly, Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela are great examples of not only transformational but service leadership. And again, the reason why we would, I mean, I totally agree with you that these two are actually some of the best style that you have to use. And I really love the part when you said like, oh, what I really like about Nelson Mandela is forgiveness. You know
Mhm.
how he forgiven people despite that, the experience that he had, right? And he chose forgiveness rather than anything. And also with Mahatma Gandhi, when you said that, he did all of this in a very peaceful way, right? And it's interesting because there's wars, there's a lot of you know unlikely situations that are happening right now, and yet we all know from history that it's feasible to have like a peaceful way or a better way of doing things, right? Of leading the team or leading the nation, right? Into a level up type of degree, right? You don't really have to like hurt anyone or kill anyone or like what you've shared in the example as well. So I really appreciate that reminder, and I hope a lot of leaders are listening to us right now or hearing us right now, right? So in and I appreciate that reminder. And so, I mean, I've made mention as well about the next normal earlier, although not everyone agrees to this, but I'm just curious to know, how do you actually define and describe the next normal?
In order for me to actually define the next normal, I have to define what leadership is for me, right? I define what servant leadership and transformational, and both of those two I combine as a leader. For
Mm-hmm.
me, leadership is the ability to guide and inspire a group of individuals to work towards a common goal or vision. Like our community in LinkedIn, our goal is to support each other every day, in and out, 24/7. Mary Baker, I see your comments.
I
Okay,
know.
you for your support. I love her, right? And a leader is someone who has a clear understanding of the direction that they want their team to go, right? And is able to communicate that vision effectively. That's the key word. Now, a
Mhm.
good leader is also someone who leads by example, motivates, supports their team, encourages innovation and creativity, and then, of course, fosters a positive work environment, right? But
Mhm.
leadership is a complex type of multifaceted concept, and different leaders exhibit different styles. So, how do you approach those individuals?
Mhm.
You have to
Mhm.
look at their strengths, and you also have to look at their weaknesses and level up their weaknesses so that their need of the team and the organization is first. And that's why servant leadership goes in. Now, the next normal refers to the post pandemic world, right? And for me, I think the next normal is we're likely to see a greater emphasis on remote work
Mhm.
and virtual collaboration. You
Mhm.
see it all the time, right? And as many individuals and organizations have discovered the benefits and flexibility of these approaches during the pandemic, I also understand that some organizations want their people to go back to work because they have the building. But think about it,
Mhm.
if you're a business owner, why wouldn't you want to get rid of the building fees, the rent fees, the internet, the equipment? Like, hello. But I understand some people do need to go in for mental well-being, to leave their kids and not have dogs running around and children screaming, right? I get it, but I don't think it should be mandatory. I think it should be an option, like, hey, maybe you should come 1 day a week, and out of the 5 days you could stay home, or 2 days in a week and you could stay home. I think it should be an option but not mandatory, right? Because the next normal involve greater emphasis on technology, digitalization, as many individuals and organizations have accelerated their adoption of digital tools, StreamYard, Restream, right? Platforms during pandemic. Look at the podcast that's going up and down this pandemic, like the last 3 months, right? This leads to increase in innovation, productivity. Also, there's study out there that we give more time in our job when we're at home, right? Because we feel guilty, right? And also this could lead to increase on pose a challenge related to cybersecurity,
Mhm.
privacy, access, and I think some organizations are not ready for it. You can always call my husband. My husband, figure it out. I actually wanted to do a series with him, and I asked him about, business owners want to protect their assets, which is their information, like this, right? But how do we
Exactly.
know how to do that? How do we protect information from being stolen when we don't even know which equipment to buy? Like, hello? And he's like, okay, I'll answer that question. I'm like, no, I mean not $100,000 equipment. I'm talking about like affordable equipment, okay? And
Mhm.
he's like, yeah, I will definitely do that. So overall, to me, the next normal is a term used to describe the ongoing changes and adaptations that are occurring right now because of COVID-19. But the impact of these changes in our lives and society in the future is forever here. So the next normal is be adaptable, be
Mhm.
flexible, go with the flow, don't go with against the flow, and learn as much as you can to level up yourself.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for like defining, describing, and even like sharing with us as like things about next normal as if you have a magic ball in front of you. So thank you so much for that. So and again, it's an ongoing change that we will see, as well as very fast changes, if I may, right? That we will notice not only like in our lives, in the technology, in the innovation, in the even so the cybersecurity that you have also made mention, right? But also the impact of those in our lives, and that's the reason why the key is really to be adaptable, right? In this situation, like what you've mentioned. So I really appreciate all those reminders from you, and it's these are really important because like the changes is one thing. I mean, it's given, it's constant, whether before it was pandemic, whether it's a next normal or whatever they want to call it. Change is constant, right? Constant. Change is constant. So but a lot of us are trying to resist it, and now that we're facing more and more and faster changes, a lot of VUCA happening in the world, right? We have to be adaptable, we have to be flexible, and we have to be agile enough to be able to address that. And one of the best way to do that, as you mentioned, is to level up, right? It's really like continuous learning. It's really like that's how we will equip ourselves as a business leader, as well as our team, to be able to keep up with what's next, right? So I really appreciate that answer. And before I ask the next question, I just want um, to share some of the comments from our amazing friends here. We are seeing raise your team and elevate them. I love it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mary,
I
I
have
can't type. I was trying to like, I can't do
See,
it.
Mary is amazing, right?
Supporter.
Not
I
not
love
only
her.
as a someone who supports, but I think she types very fast. She has a lot of comments
Siri,
here.
Siri.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I
Mary,
cannot
this
keep
is
up
you.
with the message.
Sexy confidence, baby. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make
Exactly.
that a movement.
I love going back in time and considering the great leaders. Yes, that's the exact examples that CJ just mentioned. It's biblical to build others up.
Others up.
Yes,
Hmm.
true, true, true. And level up always reminds me of a video game, and I am not a huge gamer. I do
I
love it.
am. I love video games. Let's go. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of comments from I won't be
Mary.
I won't be able to read everything, but I'm actually sharing it to our audience now by showing it in the space here.
Yeah.
So she's probably cannot see the whole chat, I bet. Oh yes. And I have friends that said that they have more calls in when people worked at home than not, so they had to implement
Mm-hmm.
hybrid. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
agreeable to that. So we're trying to yeah, very we're very funny. Yes, especially CJ, right? I know, I agree to that. So this is gonna be like a crazy interview, I would say. So, but I'm loving it, right? Because when we say like I'm in the beat a lot into the B2B space, but I mean still that's human to human, right? But like corporate leaders tend to be very serious. So
Yeah, and
I'm really
stiff. Not me. I'm not. My team knows, like, dude, that's not how I roll. Like, you have to have fun. Also, when it comes to business, I have all information you need, but you don't have to be so rigid. Like, geez, I don't want
exactly.
wrinkles. Okay, like seriously, you gotta smile a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's always like this interview that I do is like it's kind of different in such a way because it incorporates not fun and like different personalities. I Not only that I get to interview, I had the privilege to interview like amazing leaders like you, but the personality, the perspective, the culture, the industry are so much different. So that makes it very exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because it's coming from different perspectives as well. So I'm just curious to know, I mean, having said you've defined transformational leadership, servant leadership, you gave us an example and even defined for us the next normal. So I'm just curious to know, from your experience as a corporate leader, as an uh, academic educator, and working as well with corporate leaders and individuals or business leaders now, what would you say would be the top three problems that they do normally face? I mean,
Okay.
especially, I
S-
guess, during the pandemic or post-pandemic.
So I actually was a commercial finance banker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, while I was an assistant dean. I always have two, three hustles at the same time because I love teaching. So I teach full time. I'm a professor. But because I do it at night or on the weekend, but during the morning, I was a commercial finance banker. Like I literally drive and go there. But that was before COVID. And so
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, what I did is I doubled down on education. So I became a
Mm-hmm.
dean where I lead students' graduation and also the team. And for me, both corporate and academia, I see three problems specifically on managing change, talent management, and risk management. Those are the three problems: managing change, talent management, and risk management. So let me talk about managing change. So corporate leaders were faced the challenge of managing change, especially the today's rapid evolving business environment, right? And then they also constantly have to adapt to new technologies, changing customer needs, market disruptions, right?
Yeah.
This require effective communication, planning, execution to ensure that the organization can respond quickly and effectively to change. Here's my example on that. I
Mm.
used to also teach, I teach like five different universities. Don't even get me started. I used to teach a university where all their students were international only. Because of COVID 19, they shut down. They've been doing business for 15 years. They shut down permanently, because they were not ready to do online. Everything was on ground. It was an international experience. They were actually connected to 132 years, 152 years school in Sweden, right? And they still shut down. It's not because of the finance, it's because the technology wasn't there. They weren't ready to manage that change, right? And for years we told them, please, I hate driving downtown. If you want me, I can teach online, but I quit this driving business because it was too traffic in California. I can't handle it. Second
Mhm.
one is talent management. Talent management is an issue because you need to attract people that are skilled, right? And I always hire people that I can get along with because I can train you the skills. But if you have a bad attitude, I cannot do wrinkles. Just no, it's not happening. Like if you don't know how to dance the Bee Gees or Dancing Queen, no, no, right? So how do you attract people that have skills but have good attitude? That's a problem, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, some people are very rigid. Retaining them is another thing. Now that you got them trained, you got them on board, you pay them all this money, you spend time, they're like, bye. And I'm like, huh? Where are you going? Right? Retaining them. Then you have to develop their talent. Is critical to challenging those corporate leaders, right? Now they must identify the skills, capabilities needed to achieve this organizational goals. Not
Mhm.
only that, they need to create a supportive and engaging work environment so they can provide opportunities for professional growth and development, right? This requires strategic, proactive approach to talent management, including effective recruitment, training, and retention strategies. The last one is risk management. So, corporate leaders must also manage various risks that can impact your organizational success. Includes financial, operational, reputational, legal risks, right? They also have effects on risk management strategies because they place to identify, assess, and mitigate all those risks. Sometimes you take risks, but it needs to be calculated risk.
Mhm.
So that is the three top problem that I've seen, both corporate and academia.
I totally agree with you. And thank you so much for identifying and defining that for us, right? And my favorite again goes back to the first one, which is managing change, right? Which we just also discussed earlier, where, like, a lot of companies, or even in personally, like, we always have difficulty in managing change, despite that we know that it's very constant, right? And again, it's really about embracing it, and also like looking forward on how do we take this opportunity to be better, right? I think that's what's usually missing out there, whether it's personal or organizational, right, when it comes to change. And of course, my favorite space is talent management, especially in the development, where you've highlighted the importance of continuous learning, leveling up in what they do. And I really love the one that you mentioned. I guess when we do like recruit people next time, okay, can you sing and dance for me first?
Be dancing
Yeah.
queen. And do the sexy dance. Like, it's just not the body, it's just this. Okay, let's see your dance capabilities. Marilyn, let's go. See, I'm making everybody sexy dance. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love
I,
it.
it's not easy to find like crazier people than you. So so this is amazing, right? So we're having fun, we're enjoying this, and let's see what our audience is saying.
You guys are nuts. This is what happens when we do late night for California, right?
Oh yeah, and it's already. By the way, she's been dancing and she's been crazy like that, but it's actually nighttime on her side right now. So it's like yeah,
Toxic
it's not
confidence.
yet nighttime. Yeah, I like how you segment this so we can follow
Felt
better.
better.
Yes, thank you, and super explanation. Oh yes. And I feel like I'm attending like a class, MBA
I
class, like
am. I am a teacher. I teach neuroscience on neuromarketing actually through the brain. I went to a John Hopkins workshop for brain and how to market certain things. So yeah,
yes, that's why it's really enjoyable for me. I mean, it's fun, but it's very educational and informative as well. And like what Mary said, sexy confidence dance that we just did just now. Okay, and she's loving it. Thank you so much for your amazing support, Mary. We're loving it. We love you.
yes.
And yeah, I mean, like, of course, part of like, handling change as well as talent management is also being able to like handle the risk that goes along with all this, right? I mean, as you mentioned, leadership is kind of complex as well. Some more if you incorporate the organizational challenges that you face. But
Mhm.
obviously, we will not be leaving them with all these problems. We wanted to we wanted to help them by identifying as well, like, how do we address it, what are the important leadership capabilities or skills that they must have in order to continue to lead more effectively, right? Having said that, I mean, we have awareness of the three problems, top problems, right? So how do we address this through the leadership capabilities or skills that they must have?
Take my course. That's how we address it. I'm like,
Simple.
take my course. No, honestly. So I've been teaching classes for 10 years now, guys. I do higher education for 10 years. I do certificates. I even did Vatel. I mean, I do crazy things. I also teach computer classes. It's not even funny. And I do all the way to doctorate program with neuromarketing, global marketing, projects, TED Talk. I'm about to do an on ground with Sandra actually on negotiation, objection handling, boardroom presentation. Um, and it's not live here, it's just private on April 1st. But April 1st, my class also comes out, and I'm going to tell you why. When I teach classes, my students said, oh my God, I didn't know that. Why don't you just teach a class that? I'm like, right? I keep saying that this is me for 10 years. Finally, last year, I think what it is that I got so much bombardment from my podcast saying, teach a class on this, teach a class on that. So I took all of the research from all the
Mhm,
feedback and said, what are the soft skills that we need? When you
mhm,
go to higher education, you actually, I mean, I did it in my podcast. There's so many percentages that we go to college, our major is this, but when we go to work, we don't use our major. It's a check mark that you have a bachelor's degree. That's all, right? We don't use it.
exactly.
Why do you not use it? It's because you're missing that soft skills. In order for you to get that soft skills, you got to go hustle and work. How do you
Mhm,
learn to communicate with your boss? We just talk. No, right? Why do you see, you've seen it when you worked in corporate world, some people that you got hired the same time. And in
mhm.
6 months, that person got to be in management. And you're like, oh, they were sleeping with the boss. That's what it was, right? Or they were just really brown nosing people. It's not that because they know how to manage their boss. And at the
Mhm,
end of the day, there's a twist in my class. At the end of the day, you are your boss. You are the
mhm,
boss. You can change your life, you can pivot it anywhere, but also you need to learn how to manage up. But in order for you to learn how to manage up, you have to manage yourself first. You need to know your learning style, your personality, your communication style, your conflict management style. I'll teach you those. I'll teach you those to discover. So that three things that we have a problem, here's my solution for it. Learning is the first one, right?
mhm.
In the next normal, there will be a greater emphasis on continuous learning. You see it all the time. And also
True.
development, right? As individuals and organization, we must adapt to new technologies. Changing customer needs are happening right before our eyes. Market disruptions, changing careers from teacher to business owner, right? Leaders who prioritize learning and encouraging their team members, right, to do the same will be better positioned to stay ahead of the curve and seize new opportunities, right? Learning can also foster innovation, creativity, agility, which are essential in today's rapid evolving business environment. My second one is leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Effective leadership will be crucial in the next normal as organizations has to navigate new challenges and uncertainties. So leaders who can provide a clear vision, who can inspire, who can motivate their team members and facilitate collaboration and innovation will be better positioned to succeed. Additionally, leaders also who can embrace change and lead their organization to transformation will be more likely to thrive in the next normal. And my last one is transformation, right? The next normal will require organizations to undergo transformation in order to adapt to new circumstances and opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Transformation can involve like changes in strategy, the way you operate your business, the culture of your business, right? There's a lot of DEI, right? And also technology. Maybe you should look at what technology you're using. Maybe that was back in the 80s, right? That matrix, like get rid of it. Right now, we don't need it, right? We don't even need to print. You just use Google Drive. Leaders who can effectively manage this transformation and create a culture of innovation and agility will be more likely to thrive in the next normal. So, overall, for me, it's learning, leadership, transformation are all critical components of success in the next normal. So, organizations and leaders who prioritize these factors will be better positioned to adapt to new challenges, capitalize on new opportunities, and of course, thrive in the post pandemic world.
Wow, I really love how you identified all these three important capabilities and skills for leaders to be mindful of, right? And the reason why I love it is because it's really so spot on, right? How do you address all those changes? How can you retain your talent? How can you manage that risk, right? And that's through, again, first of all, continuous learning, what you've mentioned, right? We need to adapt, we need to level up, we need to reskill, upskill, learn or even unlearn some things that are no longer working for us, right? And again, it's a continuous effort or a continuous um, learning for us to be able to adapt, to be agile enough in the evolving market, in a disruptive market, right? So and then the second would be effective leadership, and that's why we're here, right? It's and the third one, which is transformation, and that's also why we're here. We're talking about leadership and transformation right now because it's a much needed skill for you to be able to adapt, whether you're an employee, a professional, even as a student, and more so if you are a business leader, right? In order for you to be effective in what you do, like you've mentioned, you have to like manage yourself first and foremost, right? In order for you to manage others as well. And again, that both requires for you to transform because, like, things, everything is evolving and you have to keep up, you have to be adaptable enough to be able to transform, to be or to stay relevant, and to stay innovative, to stay agile, and to be evolving as well as the market and the customers do evolve as well, right? So thank you so much for that amazing answers of yours. And before the last question, I'd like to share some of the comments again, like wow, a lot. Yes, people every type, like having variety of learning through there are strong correlations with one, all super good. I think
Mhm.
she's mentioning about the Adobe Summit yesterday, um, about web pages and personalization. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you for all this sharing of like some of the sessions that you've been to. And again, it's a reminder that we need to learn, right, in order for us to adapt, Yes, thank you. And sustainability aspect is also important. Thank you. I believe this is
Mhm.
coming from
Marikit.
uh from
It's gotta be.
from Marquis as well.
It's gotta be,
Yeah,
sister.
the
Yes.
importance of sustainability. Yes, very much, very much. And I think that's also a topic that, we can hear a lot, other than D and I, right? This is another hot topic that we always hear, because it doesn't make sense, like, doing all these things, or your business is continuous learning, if you don't really, like, manage sustainability within your business. And that requires, handling it in all aspects of your business, like, not on, or even as a person, right? You have to consider the environment, the people that you work with, the community, and even, like, how are you affecting other people, other communities, other organizations with the work that you do, whether it's a small scale business, or more so if you are in a bigger business, right? So thank you for that reminder around the sustainability. Okay, you have to interview Ishan. Are you referring to me, or to to
Um,
to
Ishani is one
Constance?
of my
Oh,
sustainability
Ishan.
person from Level Up Academy. So yeah, she's in London, so I
Ah,
can ask her for sure on
okay.
sustainability because that's her ESG, that's her area. But I just wanted to
Ah,
address that we all are student. I don't care
exactly.
if you're done with school. I don't care if you don't want any more degrees. It doesn't really matter, right? I just like degrees because I like to collect them. Not just kidding. Seriously, I like to learn a lot in a structured way. I'm a very structured person. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
after I graduate in May, I'm gonna probably get a third master's in psychology. I started
Wow.
actually already getting certificate on cognitive behavior therapy.
Woo-hoo.
I'm a coach practitioner because I want to get into your brain. I was kidding. I am. It helps me separate my own issues and once I actually figure out how to do it on myself, then I can help my students, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Like people like, oh, I'm done with school. If you okay, think about a fish, right? How do you think fish goes and live? They just keep swimming, right? Because they die if they don't swim. They just keep swimming. That's us too. If you stop learning, literally your brain dies, right? So here's the thing: every single person is a student. It's just a matter of what classes you want to take in life, right? It could be class in knitting. It could be a class in how to take care of your dogs. Could be a class on how to lose weight. It could be anything, right? You're literally
True.
a student of life. We
Mhm.
all are. It's just a matter of how you're going to do it. That's what I wanted to put it out there.
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder. It's really important for us to be, continuously learning, because that gives us more motivation, inspiration, energy, and even purpose, right? To live our life to the best possible way, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that leads me to my last question to you. I know I wanted more, but we wanted to make sure that there's more people who will be able to consume our content. So that leads me to my last question, that if you have a magic wand, where's my magic wand? Um,
I'm like,
Tudun.
where's mine? I have one. I like poo-poo things. My
If you
dog
have a
probably
magic
ate it.
wand and can use it, what will you do with it?
Hmm. I am trying to do that now. I wanted to create communities in the world where everyone has the ability and opportunity to level up,
Mhm,
regardless of money, like finance issues,
mhm,
regardless of education level, right? It doesn't matter. I want them to level up because I want them to get inspired because every single person has a purpose. Some people
mhm,
have not found it yet, and it's okay.
mhm,
Some people have. And I wanted to create that community where, through professional development, using my educational system curated by my business partners and myself, to level up yourself, whatever that you're learning. Eventually, I want an academy. Usually, academy is K to 12, and I used to be a K to 12 teacher too. So okay, I use English teaching. I love origami. That's my favorite one for the little 5 year olds because it's relaxing. But I wanted to just help inspire the world, right? Because sometimes when you're so complacent or you feel depressed or you have anxiety, I was in that situation last year. um, when you have a purpose, you get up and you get excited, right? And you forget about your problem. You're like, oh, okay, just whatever problem. Hold on 1 second. And then you keep going, right? So,
Mhm.
that for me, if I have that, I want to create. I'm starting that community. I'm hoping people will be there, but I'm sloth. Like, I need my foundation to be strong. So, if any problems arise, I don't just fall
Mhm.
apart. In fact, my team member will catch me if I fall down.
Mhm.
That's what I want is a good foundation so that you can be in that community leveling up. Doesn't You don't need a degree, you don't need a lot of money, just need the purpose and the passion to go for it.
Oh my God. Marikit is asking us to pack our bags and go to Manila now.
I know my cousin just left. I was like, dang, I wish I was gonna go.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm sure even without that magic wand, right? You're already doing all this work to help people, to help students, to help leaders, even business owners to level up their game, right? Through learning, right? Because again, we can't like remind them enough how important continuous learning and development is for you to improve, for you to step up, for you to level up, for you to manage and adapt to all these things. It's important for you to learn, right? And upskill yourself as well. So we couldn't stress that more. I mean, from start to end, that's part of our conversation. And I really appreciate your answer to this very open question of mine around the magic wand. And I really hope that, you also have a magic wand that you can use. But again, I really appreciate the work that you do in helping and opening up all these opportunities for everyone um, to level up their game, to level up as well as a person. Because again, like what you mentioned, every one of us are genius, in fact, right? And we have a purpose to live. And for us to be able to discover that, if we haven't, so we have to continue on, looking for it.
Hmm.
Actively looking on for it. And like, one way to do that is when you get to like learn things, whether it's from the experiences that you have or going to classes that we provide. So yeah, so thank you so much for that very, very important message for this conversation. And before we end this conversation, is there anything more, any message that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Yeah. So my class. If any of your audience is watching replay or
Mhm.
this, I'm actually selling my class. It's gonna be out. There's gonna be four. Shani's class is gonna also go. Jason's gonna go, and so is Pete, because there's four of us right now.
Mhm.
But I'm specifically just talking about my class. There's four
Mhm.
subjects in there. Each week
Mhm.
you get to focus. It's called micro learning because we can't learn too much. Our brain is
Mhm.
just like, ah. So that's how I see, and I've also researched it when it comes to brain functions, right?
Mhm.
Especially with
True.
neurodivergent learners. So what I do is I micro learn. If we're talking about emotional intelligence, we're only going to
Mhm.
talk about emotional intelligence for that entire week you have.
Mhm.
And then by Friday, you'll have 1 hour with me and the group. We're going to talk about it as an experiential learning, what it
Mhm.
means about emotional intelligence, what are you experiencing in emotional intelligence, and how can we level up our emotional intelligence. That will be the
Mhm.
conversation every single week
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
that week. And then we're going to have
Mhm.
communications and all that.
Mhm.
It's If they put CTS as a
Mhm.
code, they'll get $50 off. And the
Wow.
link I will put in and I'll give you um, in about Monday or Tuesday. They'll get $50
Mhm.
off.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So grab this opportunity, get discounts. By just watching this live or on a replay, you already get a $50 discount from Doc Leyland, right? So thank you so much, CJ, for that discount. And I'm sure like you've seen her explain, you've heard her like in this conversation, right? How she explains things, how clear it is for us, and how she identify and define things. So you've seen her at work generally in this conversation. So I'm sure you will be able to really learn so much from these classes that she created on micro learning through Level Up. So, and these are different important topics. She mentioned example is emotional intelligence, communications as some of this. So I have actually flashed as well the code and like how much it is, what's the investment like, and again the promotions use CTS for your code, and soon CJ will share with us the proper link for you to be able to get started and register for her program as well. And that reminds me, I'm also like having a program on upcoming program on planning and scheduling. So these are very specific to project engineers, project managers, um, and we'll be sharing as well the comments, on the comments, the links for them to register. It's the last week to register, so if you haven't done so, and if you'd like to ensure that you're increasing your project profitability and avoiding all those delays, which are a common problem, over budget and delays in the project management, feel free to register with us. This week will be the last week for you to register for that. It's gonna happen in Malaysia, by the way.
Ooh,
So
is it on ground? Is it on ground?
yes, it's gonna be a face-to-face session.
Ooh, I'm like, can I do online? Because I teach project management and it's a work. I love my work breakdown structure, the WBS. That's my favorite one
Yeah.
because it gets so detailed. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get Gantt charts. We're gonna do timeline. I love it. I love it.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you teach like everything, I think.
In business, I told you I've been teaching 10 years. Like, I don't think there's anything that I even teach. I don't like accounting, but I'm teaching accounting now. I teach statistics at 6 a.m. on Sunday. Like, oh my god. But yeah.
Well, like at that time, I'm still, my mind is still sleeping, right? So anyway, thank you so much for all the information, all the learnings that you've shared with us. I really appreciate all those important insights that you have shared to us and to the leaders who are watching us. And again, if you have any training, coaching, consulting requirements, please feel free to keep in touch with us. I've actually indicated our email address as well. So please let us know if there's anything we can help you with. And again, there's more comments from our
Our two
supportive friends.
sisters,
Yeah,
they doing this conference.
yeah, they're doing sexy dances
Oh,
too.
she's gonna dress
With
up with us. I know. I'm trying to
yeah.
get oh, I don't know. They're the only ones who's watching here, but
Mhm,
Mary offered to be my
mhm.
co-host for Level Up, and I said
Ah,
sure, so long as you dance like the and then you dress up. See, I dress up today. Look, look. See, this is made in the
yeah.
Philippines, right? Like
Wow,
seriously.
very nice. It's so lovely. Like it's black, but then it's also colorful. Is it black or gray?
Yeah, it's black, but it has
Black.
like
Yeah,
really
and some
detailed
pink,
flowers. I
yellow,
need
and
those
yeah,
barong
that's
Tagalog
very
for women. I need those like pink so I can
yes.
go like this and literally my shoulder goes off. Oh my god. It's like I need
Amazing,
to focus.
amazing. Like thank you for sharing like the beautiful how do you call that? Is it uh dress? Is it a dress or
No, it's a jacket. It's just a jacket.
oh, it's
Yeah.
just a
But
jacket.
it's really
Okay, I
long.
thought
Like
it's a dress.
I don't even know if I can. But it's really long. See? Even in the back.
Nice. Oh my
I
gosh, it's
know.
so
It's
it's black
spring.
and yet it's
Hello. It's
colorful.
spring.
It's spring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, late night podcast is so
So,
fun. We're
midnight.
dancing.
Yes. Yeah. True, true, true. Thank you so much for those who are keeping up with our crazy craziness. So thank you so much again for watching us, and please remember to level up and to always learn, right? Because as they said, like the best investment you can ever make for yourself is that, I mean, the best investment you can ever make is if you invest in yourself, right? And again, we would like to leave you with this quote, that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Yay! Thank you so much, everyone, for watching us. And
Thank you,
for those who are
guys.
watching us live, please wait for all those links that we will share for you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support, and looking forward to the next interview. And for now, thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.